Good evening and welcome to Gator's Garage, the home of all things historical and science fiction gaming in and around the great city of Savannah, Georgia. We have with us tonight Mitch Mitchell and Edgar Pabon from Jacksonville Garrison and Skirmishcon, which we just had the early part of this month. If you missed it, you missed a great time. It's 3 days, and I mean 3 full days of gaming, as I recall. They kicked things off, I think, Friday morning at 8. And when I left at 4 o'clock Sunday, people were still playing. So good job, gentlemen. Congrats. Not something you can say about just any just any convention. Before we get too deep here, got a couple things. Be sure to do all the YouTube things, like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies, or just share. If you got a comment, you can leave it in the section below. Ideas for me, ideas for the Garrison guys. You know, you can drop them in there, and I'll pass it along. I'll also have their contact information in the description area below. So we're gonna start off with just a quick overview of, okay, Mike, what is Skirmishcon? So hold on to your boots, folks. We're gonna give you a quick run through. Here it is, Skirmishcon 2025. And I think I did not get the sound. There we go. It's running a little slow. And a lot faster in pre-production. So this is Trailer Park of the Apocalypse, actually done by one of our local guys. Who did Trailer Park of the Apocalypse?
Bad Goblin Game.
Who?
Bad Goblin Game.
Bad Goblin Game. Got it. Right. Okay. Now, one of the things that really, I think, sets Skirmishcon apart from other cons, they have very clear tracks. I don't know if I ever told you, but other than like some of the fan cons, boy, this thing is a lot slower than I think. Other than some of the fan cons, I've never seen a game con that, at least a regional one like this, can track the variety that you guys do. Board game, role-playing game, and miniature game. I know when I used to bring the Waycross crew down, part of us would break out to do miniatures and partly would break out to do board games, and then we wouldn't see each other all weekend. So, Mitch, how did you come up with the 3 different tracks over the years? What came first?
Mike, I think the music is overtaking his audio.
How's that?
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, that's better.
Oh, did we have music?
Well,
I didn't hear the music.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Music. It was good. That video was done for us by our good friend Mickey Barfield, by the way. So I think we're going to get it up on our website as soon as our webmaster guy gets back from real work. But thank you, Mickey, for giving that to us.
Yeah.
Your question is, well, I've always been a gamer a long time, and I've enjoyed all those types of games, miniature games, role-playing games, and board games. And, I knew if I ever wanted to, help do a con, I'd want to have all of those things, that I enjoy at a convention, because, other people enjoy the same things as well. So definitely would want to be able to incorporate all of it. And it's more of a tabletop gaming convention. I feel, and I think our club comes after is tabletop gaming. So, isn't that right, Edgar?
Yeah, and that's the kind of setup we had from the beginning. We did as a Jacksonville Garrison, we have had a previous convention called RapierCon. We had for several years in this area, and it was the same thing, the same 3 tracks, because we are more about tabletop gaming in overall than just miniatures or role playing or board gaming. So we encompass all 3 of them.
I really like. Again, I think of the other conventions I've been to. Go to Siege. It's got a little bit of board games, but it's mostly miniature games. And I want to say both Recon and Huracan are heavily oriented toward miniatures as well. I don't know if they have a role playing track or not, but certainly very cool. definitely looking toward building that big tent that we want to have that welcomes all gamers. Mitch, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to reiterate that. Yeah, it's. I think Recon does have some role playing. Dominant runs that track of it, and yeah, that was really it. Sorry.
Yeah, Recon, Huracan, and Siege are all run by different HMGS organizations, historical miniature gaming societies. So, of course, their focus is going to be on miniature gaming and specifically historical miniature gaming. And so they always try to side with a preponderance on that kind of gaming. The difference with the Jacksonville Garrison is our thing is tabletop gaming. So we include anything that gets played on the tabletop.
And
yeah,
as we saw in the video,
everything.
Yeah, we saw that in the video. We saw role-playing games, board games, miniature games. In my opinion, if you miss a game on a Jacksonville Garrison weekend, then you weren't looking real hard. You'll find something.
Right.
I even got to play. I ended up playing like 7 games that weekend. I played one Thursday night. Yeah, and ran my booth. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that, right? So, I know, you came out of the old Rapier Con. Coming into this year, and this was the 3rd year that you've been Skirmishcon, or 2nd?
3rd. This is our 3rd full weekend year. Okay. We did do a 1 day at the old venue just to try it out, see how we could make everything work. It was just a 1 day event, but after that, then this was our 3rd full weekend event.
Excellent. That's really good. So as you look around, and I'm sure your team has met. We're about 3 weeks afterward. What do you think went best for the con?
Oh, I would say attendance. This was a record number of people we had attending the convention this year, and probably record number of games as well to support that amount of people.
Good deal.
What really helped us also is we had a new location, so the venue was different than the previous couple of times. A much bigger space, and I think just about universally, everyone who gave us any feedback on the event were very positive towards the size and the location and the look of the venue. So that worked out pretty good for us.
That's fantastic. I'm looking down at my dashboard here, and I've got a little more to walk through. Maybe you can tell me a background on some of the games that were at the con here. Kind of shift a little bit here. So, whoops, let me try that again. There we go. Got to be smart on what you're trying to operate, Baker. So, I guess there's a golf event the Wednesday before.
We have our golf outing. Actually, the convention properly starts at 8 o'clock on Friday, like you said. But that Thursday, a group of us that were about to go work the whole weekend at that convention have a golf outing at a local golf club, and we just played 9 to 18 holes. I think we played 18 holes this one time.
That is fantastic.
And have a good time. Play what we call it Garrison rules. It's basically a team scramble where everybody gets to contribute a drive on the first and then last 9 holes, and everyone gets 1 mulligan. So none of us are good golfers, so we do our best. And the way we play, it's basically we're playing a co-op game with golf.
Like it.
I like it.
Cool beans. I like it a lot. That's great. So I kind of went through it as when we were talking in the prep. Yeah, Mitch, I got a lot of pictures, and so I've used a fair number of them. Do what?
You had posted many pictures. That was great.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I like to do is, as soon as the con starts off and stuff starts percolating, is get it out there to the group and to any groups that are like within a couple hours to let them know, hey, it's day 1. We're rocking. If you missed it, come on. And it's just that kind of that ongoing press coverage that I try and provide. Man, Battletech. So you guys got a big Battletech community there in Jacksonville?
Yes, all around really. Jacksonville, A bunch of guys came up from Ocala. Battletech was heavily appeared at Skirmish this year, which I was quite happy of. But we do have local reps here as well that every year.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I think here they're playing Alpha Strike. And if you haven't played Alpha Strike, it is a very much a reduced scale version, plays very quick. And I like both. It's just wow. So here we go. This is one of the games I was running. Blood and Crowns, Edgar, wanted to get this on the table. Me and Mrs. Baker were up quite late the last couple of weeks before the con, getting enough miniatures painted that I could put a decent game on the table. And it didn't disappoint, and it's actually gotten some good looks since I've come back from the con. Again, good job again to our friends over there at Firelock Games. They definitely have another winner with this one. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, for those anyone who is not aware of what Blood and Crowns is the latest game in the Blood and a series of games from Firelock Games. Blood and Crowns itself is centered on the 100 Years' War. So it's basically blood and plunder-ish in medieval times, and it's a riot. It's pretty good fun.
Yeah, it plays enough like Blood and Plunder that if you've played BNP, you can pick it up. But there's a few twists and turns as always. But being a Firelock game, they also include ship-to-ship combat because it wouldn't be a Firelock game without being able to get on the boats and chase each other around. So I got to say, probably the most fun I've had since I played Lord of the Rings Skirmish. Just really a fantastic game. Next one was Bolt Action. I ran a Bolt Action demo, and so did our good friend Phil from Sherwood Games. And Edgar, you provided this good looking picture here. That was a scratch built glider there that he brought with him, and just an amazing game. And this one was a scenario driven game as opposed to a tournament game. And that's one of the strengths of Bolt Action. Right now in Bolt Action in the community, you're seeing really the tournament play get a lot of the press, but the game lends itself very well to narrative play. And I hope to see as more people get into version 3 that we see more of this. Both my game and this game were kind of just one-off narrative type games, and it was really great to see. Okay, Edgar, this is Blood and Steel.
Yes, it is. It's a Blood and Steel second Seminole War game. This particular photo is some Seminole warriors from our friends at Phalanx Games and Sundry. They've got a new line of Seminoles and U.S. infantry and Marines. They're amazing. Some of the best models I've ever had the pleasure to work on. I had a great time painting these, and the table looked amazing. So we had a really fun time with several people enjoying the game.
Fantastic.
Edgar, are they metal or resin figures? I'm just curious.
These are 3D printed, so I'm not exactly sure what kind of material they're out of. They're light. They feel like plastic. Okay,
I was just curious.
Excellent.
They look good.
Yeah, I think I think, and you'll see this all over the community, but this is where everybody's headed to. I know I just introduced a line of resin printed World War II troops to Gator Games. They've got so many advantages. Now, Edgar, were these single piece castings or were they multi-part?
The natives are single piece, and what they're doing with the U.S. is because the uniforms are so similar, the difference is just the hats. When you buy the U.S. soldiers, you can put the infantry U.S. Army hat on, or you can put a Marine hat on. So you can have them as Marines, or you can have them as U.S. Army infantry. But other than that, the whole thing is single cast, just like you would with a metal.
Excellent. I know a lot of folks get into the multi-part models because they can make so many of the miniatures look different. For my part, I just want to get toys on the table, and I think we're going to find this type of modeling is going to be really, really new player friendly. There's one less hurdle that people have to overcome before they can put their toys on the table and start playing. That's really good to see. It was a good looking game too. I was wishing I could have played. It looked awesome. I've played Blood and Steel with you before, and I've got a copy of copy of it in my own library. Me and one of the guys here in Savannah are going to do some American Civil War. I think he said June, so I've got a few months to get my Confederate troops ready. Hard to get a good shot of the room and really get a feel, but this is from my booth looking out. I think this is like maybe Friday morning, and things are already percolating, which is you don't often see. Again, the cons seem to stay steady, busy just all weekend, and that's just amazing. High Noon. The fellow that does High Noon, is he from there in Jacksonville?
Yes. Yeah.
Do we know?
Yes, he is.
Like y'all are just churning out the game designers down there in South Florida. I'm telling you. I really, and you guys are welcome to step in, but from what I could tell from High Noon and what I've read, it uses cards for combat, and then the figures are pre-colored, so you can play with them right out the box.
Yeah.
And I think the buildings come with a starter set as well. Is that right?
I don't think so. Not the starter set I have. It's just the tiles and then your minis,
Okay.
and he's got several gangs. He's got a lot he does for it. I know he has the buildings now, which do look really nice. They might be in a new starter set he has, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a neat game.
Yeah, it looked great. I like games, and so far, just all the games we just looked at that use different mechanics. Whether it's, I think Blood and Steel use a bidding system, Edgar?
It does.
Okay, kind of like Blood and Valor. But, Blood and Crowns uses a card system and rank card system, and then this game uses a card system. So getting away somewhat from getting way far away from the big I go, you go games and getting more into a fluid dynamic game that kind of keeps you moving. I got high hopes for this game. It looks amazing. I thought I had turned this around. Okay. So 1 hour war games. This is one of the ones I got to play. Got to play a couple rounds of it actually. The rules are available on Amazon, and the fellow that came had 3 different maps. This was the one for the air combat game. The others are kind of open field. But man, it apparently can cover everything from World War II to Ancients. I think I played a pike and shot version and a Napoleonics version and had an absolute blast. This was 1 hour war games. Now, was there supposed to be a 1 hour war game tournament at Skirmish? Did that ever come off?
No, not that I know that was ever listed or proposed. No.
Okay.
We did have a one-page rules tournament, and that may be confusion.
What did I say?
1 hour.
Did I not say that? I'm sorry. 1 page rules. One something. Yeah. I guess the first day didn't come off, but the second did.
Right. Yeah. So we did have a very well turned out 1 page rules fantasy tournament on Saturday. That was very well received. Awesome. So, and I know that gentleman said he's ready to come back and do it again next year, and we're going to try for a sci-fi again and a fantasy again. So that'll be great. I like Skirmish to promote. I like Skirmish to promote the more smaller type tournaments. You can go play the big British science fiction game tournaments almost anywhere at any game convention or any game store in town. But come play 1 hour or 1 page rules or Mornheim tournament. That's something you can't get to play a lot.
Yeah. And you step into something there that I often tell people when they say, well, why should I go to a convention? And I'm like, because you can try different things. I got to try 1 page rules. This is actually my round. This was one of the games I got to play, 1 page rules. Loved it. Can't wait to play again. It was a lot of fun. I think it's alternating units, so that it definitely keeps you moving. But yeah, and there are games, honestly, that the only place I play them is at comps, and that's okay too. So it's a huge. I've got an article somewhere in my files about why go to a con, and that's one of the biggest reasons to go look at different things. And Mitch, to your point, to maybe go see some stuff that you might not see in your local area or in your local store, and that's a fair thing.
Yeah, I think this is a picture of Brian Stroop's page or his setup.
Yep. Yeah. And just he's a great GM. Good story behind this one, by the way.
Okay.
Had a young man who had come with his grandfather and was just very shy. And he ended up playing as my partner in this. And honestly, he got closer to getting objectives done than I did, which I just thought was awesome. But just by being accepted by the people around the table, you just kind of saw him relax and open up.
That's
And
great.
I know you guys are all like, yeah, that's what it's all about is people coming and finding their niche. And last I saw him, he
Right.
was playing yet another game and having a blast. And his grandfather was
Well,
so
and
happy.
Well, in addition to what you said just a moment ago about finding new games to play, you also get to find new people to play with. And
That's
you
right.
get to play with your old friends that you might only see at conventions. I get to see these guys at conventions, so we get to play together. That's the only time we get the chance. And you can try
Yeah.
new games. You can play with your friends, meet new friends. Conventions are a great way to meet and play with new people.
Yes. Yes. I think that's about the only time I get to see you guys, and we're only a couple hours away. Is that at cons because we stay so busy.
Yes.
I know one of my happiest things is, and this one was no exception. I had friends from my old stomping grounds in Augusta, from Savannah, from Jacksonville, and it's just really cool. It's awesome. So Mitch has another picture in here too, but Mitch, your point to hot game. Wow.
Oh yeah.
It looked like your table stayed full. Edgar, did you get to
Yeah.
play around to that?
I did not this time around, but I've played Mitch's games. I tend to play him when he's still developing them many times. But that's what happens when you have multiple developers. We focus on our own stuff a lot. But Mitch has been working on this for a long time. We're very proud of him, and I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet and let him talk about his game.
Go ahead,
No,
Mitch.
I like to thank Chip Coffey. He actually gave me that foam to build up that 9-inch cliff years and years ago. So thank you Chip for the foam. I finally got around to it. But yeah, that's my point to hot game. Using my World War II assault rules. Everybody had a great time. I ran it twice at the convention, and everybody had a great time both times.
For being a small little pamphlet, so not a large rule, but really just almost a pocket-sized game. Your rules are tight and they're immersive, and that's huge. Every time I looked over, you had people playing and on all your slots, and that speaks well. So that's pretty cool. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I did run a Wars game. I count this as one of the ones I played because I did get to play. So this game is taking the hobby by storm. It's one of two games in here that I would call war games for non-war gamers because of the subject matter. Anteaters with guns, what's not to love? Edgar can tell you a little bit about that. He's got the bug as much as I do, and yeah, so we just had a great time. I think I think I ran 2 rounds of this, and it went real well. Again, card-driven game system. Uses a 3D6 system for most tests. So again, something different. The terrain there, by the way, was done by Jim Casey out of Savannah. He's part of the Savannah Garrison group. I call him our quartermaster because he makes stuff for us all the time, and he did all the buildings for the Corps.
Those look great.
Oh, look, more Trailer Park of the Apocalypse. I have yet to get a chance to play this. I've got the rules even. I need to just sit down and learn them.
It's
Gabby
a
wants
riot.
It looks like
This
fun.
looks like it was the running of the flamingo scenario.
Yes, I think so.
Wow. Looks like it's a real dumpster fire. So yeah, that looked real good. Here's the other game that I would at first glance say is a war game for non-war gamers, the Wars of Ozz. And you kind of got to look close if you're walking by and you just kind of glance, you can say, "Oh, Napoleonics." Well, no, I don't think Napoleon had to fight angry pumpkins. Now, is this developer also from South Florida? I didn't get a chance to talk to the gentleman. Either you guys know any more about Wars of Ozz?
This is run by Buck Surdu. who currently lives in Florida. Not for much longer. He's looking to move to Tennessee. He lives here because he got transferred here for work. He's an original Hawks, so Hartford area weekend Kriegspielers, I think it's the name of the group. So he's from the Washington D.C.-ish area, and he's got multiple published games out. Wars of Ozz is one of the latest ones. He's got an actual Napoleonic version of it out now too. But it's a whimsical way to do mass combat. It's a heck of fun, and we are lucky to have Buck and the folks from Discover Games running these games at our conventions here in the Southeast U.S. area.
I've got one of his old rules, Blood and Swash, Thunder and Plunder by Buck from gosh, I don't know, probably sometime in the 90s.
Fantastic.
Say 99, 2001. So yeah.
How about that? Yeah, I don't know that our community here in South Georgia, North Florida really appreciates exactly how much talent we have knocking around here. It's amazing. It's wow. So yeah. But I had to get a shot of that game, and I've seen it around, so it was too much fun. What do we got here? A blank slide and another blank slide. There we go. All right. So that's the pictures. Just wanted to kind of give the show a walkthrough. Got a couple more here. Let's see. Mitch got a good shot of some Battletech going on there. Classic tech. Like he said, there was a lot of tech going on. Pretty good. That's the video we were watching. Right. That. And then great shot of your point to hot crew here, Mitch.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's a bunch of old friends that came out to skirmish this year. We all got together and played, and it was a great time. This was Friday night, probably a little after midnight when this photo was taken. So that was a long day.
Oh my soul! I came back from the con. I think I slept 14 hours Monday. I was exhausted. So yeah, I completely get it. And then we got the this is Mitch's pirate game that he's working on.
Yeah.
Care to share a little more?
It's called Avast, you Buccaneers and Cutthroats, and it's a skirmish pirate game that I've been developing, and yeah, we got to play it at the convention, and everybody had a great time.
Okay, that sounds like you're working on another winner there. That's fantastic. All right, so that's what we're all talking about, folks. So as you wrap the year up, you came out ahead of last year. Your attendance was just off the charts. I think I know Siege looked like it was pretty busy. I'm curious to see how Recon and Hurricane are going to do. I think folks are kind of rediscovering the tournament circuit. I also noticed, and you guys can correct this, but it seemed like there were a larger portion of young people.
Yes, that was good to see.
That's fantastic.
We have plans for even more young people. One of the things that the Jacksonville Garrison has had the privilege to do is we run some games days for a local ROTC, junior ROTC at a local high school unit.
Right.
And this is a large unit. They're very involved. So we've been able to run some of our games at those game nights. And the plan was for them to come to our convention and partake free of charge. Just come on in and play. You're trying to, get young people, young blood into the hobby and things. Unfortunately, It happened on the same weekend as when they had a pretty important event going on, so they were not able to really come and partake. But we have plans to keep that going. We'll see if we can get more young people involved.
We did that for a couple of years at Siege too, where we gave either a reduced or free ticket to newer gamers. I know Alan and I have done some work with his middle schoolers. So how long have you guys been doing that with the ROTC?
We've had a couple of game nights with them now, so it's over the last not quite year. So we're trying to do is have it, because it's a school type setting. We're trying to do once a semester.
Got it.
It very much depends on their busy schedule. They host at their school. So whenever the unit's leader, the colonel, whenever he's able to put that together, we kind of just flow with that. But the first one was pretty good. The second one was even bigger. I think we got some good word of mouth from the cadets that were at the first one, and more cadets showed up to the second one. The kids get fed. They hang out. They play. We do our best to make sure that each kid gets 2 different games during the evening.
Okay.
So they get to try multiple things and they get to pick. And you're not stuck at the same table the whole time. So it seems to be going pretty well for us, and we're looking forward to keep doing it.
Excellent. How long does the evening run?
I think we start around 5 o'clock, 5 or 5:30. This is after school, and we're usually done by 9-ish, something like
so
that.
About a 3.5, 4-hour block. It's
yes.
pretty cool. And have you seen any of the ROTC cadets come out to any of the Garrison events?
No, they basically get their own events. We come to them and they play with us. And the idea was for them to come to our convention. Actually, last year, for the last year's skirmish, we did have a cadet who came with her father, and they joined the club on the spot at the convention. So they had a grand time. But again, it just didn't work out. There was, I forget what event they had going on that they weren't able to come this time.
Yeah, and just to talk to the audience a bit, as you know, game masters, convention organizers, store owners, if you want to grow your market, you want to grow your hobby base, you got to come up with creative ways to reach both people that are currently playing, although many of those folks are, they're already kind of set, or reach some of these young people. And, looking back at your Seminole War picture and thinking about some of the stuff I'm doing, I think games that are simple enough for younger players to grasp, or that are led by veteran game masters that can kind of boil the rules down and keep them simple, will get these young folks interested. And I think that's, I have conversations often with older gamers that'll be like, I can't get someone to play X game. And when you talk to them a little bit, sometimes it's like, well, I want to use all these advanced rules. I'm like, well, what if you do this really reduced version here? Well, it's not the same, but are you playing the game? And are you getting new people in? Then that's a win. So that's really good. And again, that's something I noticed at all the cons I go to. The GMs are usually pretty good to keep it about mid-range or even lower. And if a GM doesn't want to fiddle with younger kids, they'll put that on there. They'll be like adults only, and that's okay too. It's the GM. It's his, it's his stuff. But big tip of the hat there, Edgar. That's the kind of outreach I think the gaming community needs to do, is to reach out, to the schools and colleges, but especially the schools, and let people know we're here, that we provide an alternative to kids necessarily playing computer games all the time, and then of course the whole socialization skills and model skills that go with that. Future plans. So I guess, Edgar, I'm going to start with you here. Jacksonville Garrison. So we're coming in the end of February. What are you guys looking to do for the balance of the year? What's on your plate?
Right. So the Jacksonville Garrison's main goal is to promote the hobby, the tabletop wargaming, or gaming hobby. It shouldn't be wargaming. The tabletop gaming hobby. So with that in mind, we do things like our main major event of the year, which is our Skirmishcon. We also do quarterly games days, and we tend to do those at public locations, like at a brewery, so that people who've never seen the hobby now get a chance to at least know that it's out there. Or we go to our public library, or to a museum, or wherever we can figure that out. Sometimes it's at a high school where cadets can come out and play. So we've always got that cooking. We also attend multiple other gaming events or gaming conventions.
Yes.
I know we've got, personally in our group here, we are going to have a pretty big presence at HMGS South's Recon at the end of April in Kissimmee. Some of us will also go to Historicon. Some of us may go to NashCon. There's Hurricon at the end of September. There's a group of us that are trying to go to Millennium Con in Texas in October coming up. And at each one of those conventions, when we go as a group, like a garrison, we'll have a garrison banner in place. We'll have a table that we just constantly run games so that people get to know who we are and what we do. Of course, at those conventions, we're basically preaching to the choir. Those are all gamers already. But we also make sure that we have events outside of that type of atmosphere, as much in the public as possible. So that way we can actually promote the hobby as we expect to.
What day? What day do you normally put your quarterly meetings on? Is that like a weekday or a weekend?
So it depends on the venue what we're trying to do. For example, when we do the ones at high school with the cadets, that tends to be on a Friday night because that's when they have their availability, and that's where it works out best. The one we did before that, we were at Veterans United. What's it called? Veterans
United.
Brewery.
Yes.
Yeah, Veterans United. That was on a Saturday, which allowed people from out of town to come to it as well. I mean, if you're a member, come to it. It doesn't matter where you're from. We have had, so yeah, actually that tends to be Friday night, Saturday. It's when we can get out to the public. Doing it on a Tuesday night may not work out best for us. But we were on about. Those tend to be the best days.
Okay. Fantastic. Great. That's just kind of convincing for my own club, but also just to put some ideas out there for folks as, gee, if I want to build a club, what do I do? Well, there's some good ideas. And I got to keep my eyes and ears open for when you guys are having your quarterly meeting so I can maybe slide down there and play something. Mostly slide down there and play something. I love to go somewhere. That's probably what I enjoyed most about the con is like over half of the games I played, I didn't run. I just played. It was great. So that's fantastic. Mitch, kind of the same question for you, and thanks, Edgar. And same question for you as you look forward to what's going to be Skirmish 26. Same weekend, I assume?
Edgar, you want me to give them the tentative date? I can give them the tentative date.
I don't. Mike's got a broad people. He's got so many viewers. We'll be able to put it out there. I mean, we might as well make it. It's sort of not official yet, but we can go ahead and tell them what's looking up.
Tentative date is February 27th and 28th and March 1st of 26. Tentatively.
Okay.
That's not locked in, but that's really what we're hoping for.
Sorry, didn't mean to put you on the spot there. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Same location, by the way.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Same place. So, and we want to do the same thing we did this year. Offer our 3 different tracks. Bring in game masters. Who game masters can get into convention for free if they run 3 games. They get paid back for that, which generates lots of games that people can play. Bring in more people, hopefully more of our cadets we can get in this year. And love seeing new people at the convention. I forget the numbers when we talked when we had our after action report, Edgar, but there was so many new people that had come to this convention that had not come to any of our other conventions. I think it was like in the 50s. I think 50 something people, 50.
I think it was 57. 57 individuals, which we had not had any record of in the past.
Right.
That's great.
So that's incredible. We definitely want to keep pushing that as well, and everything else that we've done this year, and just improve upon it and move forward.
Fantastic. Because moving it up a little bit will actually move it away from at least one event that literally landed on top of the con. And I know they asked me to go, and I'm like, no, I'm committed to Skirmishcon, going to be over there. So that's going to be the challenge, I think, as the hobby grows, is con directors they'll want to make sure they know who each other are. And if they can, try and work around each other so you don't have cons that get scheduled, or major events that get scheduled on top of each other. That's very important. And the sooner you get that, and I know you guys won't take long, but once we get that date locked in, we can let everybody know. And then, like I say, then people can begin planning to come, most important thing. But also if they're planning their own event, like I'm not doing anything at the end of February. So that's pretty good. But like at the middle of March, I'm having my bolt action tournament. So that's on the 15th. So that's the kind of thing I need to make sure is I'm not, too close to a con if I'm trying to run a bolt action tournament or any other kind of tournament. So that's really good. Now we had a painting clinic at this con, as I recall, right? You did some painting?
Yes. Yes, it
And
was a they from our good friend Doug Hawkins ran that, and they made it kind of funny that if someone had a mini mishap, broke in their glue or needs a spot of paint or something, they could step into the mini clinic and get it taken care of. It was kind of quite fun.
that's awesome. I like that. That's very cool. And I assume you're planning to probably recreate that next year.
Yeah, yeah. If Doug will do it, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
cool. All right. Well, wow, guys, this has been fantastic. So, we're gonna kind of bring this to the close, and I'm
I
going to.
I'm gonna say something else about next year's um, convention, our Scammers Game Con. For those of you, especially if you're in the Savannah area and you are interested in this course war game, stand by. We're cooking something up for that.
Yes, we are.
So if you have an interest, if you got some troops, you got some plastic you haven't put together yet, you haven't painted, go ahead and get started because we're gonna have a venue, a place for you to get some games in. Just ... Mr. Baker. I know we talked about it, so I'm gonna leave it right there.
That's absolutely good. And like I say, this Coors War is one of those games that it's really taken the hobby a bit by storm. It's also from a dollar outlay standpoint, it's relatively inexpensive to get into. I don't foresee it being one of those games that goes through rule creep or figure obsolescence creep. And there'll be a lot more factions available by the time we get to next year. So keep watching the core. Edgar's going to pass me that softball. I'll take it. Keep watching the core. Keep watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel here at Gator Games, please do, because we will certainly be breaking the latest news on core releases. Also, subscribe to our newsletter. We'll put our store's link in the description below, and you can reach out to us there, and we'll keep you appraised. You can reach out to the Jacksonville Garrison if you want to know about their events. They have a Facebook group. We'll throw a link to that. I think, do you guys have an email address as well that's on the web? They've got a website, so you can reach them through there. I know some people don't do like Facebook, uh, or Reddit or any of the social medias, but they do YouTube. So you can always reach out to the Garrison, just this, the dare I say the good old fashioned way of just straight email. And I'm sure they'll
Right.
be happy to get you hooked in.
We also have a Discord channel as well.
That's right. That's right. We could have a whole show on the growth of Discord in the hobby. I'm
Yeah.
seeing a lot of people move off of Facebook, certainly, and more onto Discord and Reddit. I'm seeing a lot more activity in those venues than you necessarily see on the Facebook groups. Just really interesting perspective there. And I saw that coming a few years ago. I remember asking the Waycross team, hey, what are we going to do when Facebook starts to drop off? Facebook will never
I
drop
guess
off. They all drop
this is
off.
a good time to plug the website. It's www.skirmishgamecon.com.
There you go. We'll throw a link to that in the description below. And if you are anywhere within reach of Savannah or Jacksonville, reach out to either HMGS Savannah Garrison. Reach out to the Jacksonville Garrison. We'll get you at a table. We'll get you playing games and get you with like-minded people. So that's fantastic. Mitch, anything else you want to say while we're wrapping this show up?
Yeah, I would really like to give one last shout out to all our sponsors for the convention.
Yes.
Which Mike, you were there, and we do appreciate that, and all the other sponsors, as much as all our game masters who came in and devoted their time and energy putting together all these wonderful games, and of course our staff who helped run this convention. It cannot be done without a team. And Edgar and the Peaks and Mike Love and Jim Duke and Mike Finn, Ben.
There was Richard, Doc
The other
Hawkins.
there's two, Ben, Richard. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of people. I'm sorry if I forgot anybody, but yes, a very big thank you to that whole team that helps run this convention. It cannot be done by a single person alone, and that we thank everybody so much for all their help and for these volunteers that they do to make it really work as well as it does.
All right. Fantastic, gentlemen. Well, there you have it, folks. The good word from our friend Mitch Mitchell, who directs Skirmishcon, and our buddy Edgar Pabon, who's representing Jacksonville Garrison. A couple of movers and shakers in the Jacksonville and Savannah area when it comes to tabletop gaming. And of course, you've got the Savannah Garrison as well. If you have any questions, of course, drop me an email, drop them an email, or leave a comment in the sections below. As we said at the beginning, give us a like, give us a share, give us a recommendation. Best way to support the channel is buy some merch from Gator Games, wayx.com, or to buy us a cup of coffee on Ko-Fi or Patreon. And thank you for spending this evening with Gator Garage.